For more on this, we're now joined by suspended Public Protector Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane. Thank you so much for your time this evening. I'm keen to get your reaction to your suspension.
I would say it was a shocking experience because my legal team wrote to, in fact, the letter which was written to the president after we were requested to respond by the 26th of May. They also indicated that we need them to commit and engage us on time and respond to us what the way forward would be before even him deciding to suspend. So that's why we were caught by surprise with my legal team.
So if I'm listening to you correctly, Advocate Mkhwebane, you're saying that you were not told before the public was told that you're suspended?
Yes, Bongiwe, I was at home, well, from the office. I also received a message from one of the journalists requesting me to share the suspension letter. And when I opened the news and Twitter, I saw the news that I am suspended. Indeed, it was a shock and worse because I expected them to respond to my legal team because we wrote the letter through my legal team. But then the letter I discovered later, after 5 or 6, that it was sent to my PA, who then had to forward it to me. But already the information was out there.
And are you planning to then challenge this decision, or will you simply stay suspended?
I was discussing with my legal team, hence I couldn't do the interview last week. And today we've written a letter of response, or I've written a letter of response to the president, which we are then engaging him and also clarifying a number of things and denying certain assertions in his letter, and also putting the record straight that, whatever he's saying, and again, the worst part, also addressing the issue of the conflict. In fact, the issue of the conflict, that the investigations are ongoing, also indicating that the panel, the three-member panel, issued their report already almost 2 years ago, and there was never any issue about me continuing to be in the office, and work continued irrespective, but as well that the president, there are ongoing investigations besides the Bosasa court case, but there are those investigations which we are busy with, and worse as well, indicating again that there is a precedent in this particular issue. We don't dispute that the president has the right to suspend the public protector, but the process is rushed, and as well, it's not at the stage where the Section 194 committee, because the proceedings should start, and when the committee says, indeed, I'm not fit to hold this position, that's when it's taken to the National Assembly to be debated and to be voted on, then the president can then suspend. But again, he acknowledged himself that he was conflicted with the Bosasa matter in the court papers, but even now there is this investigation. Even worse, that after ATM lodged the complaint, and it's one of the EMIA matters which should be finalized within 30 days. And then this decision, even before the court, because we tried, Bongiwe, to engage through letters, request engagement and them to suspend the process. But then that's a challenge that we were told no, unless we have an interdict, which we were avoiding as well, to litigate and to make sure that this matter is resolved amicably. The process is fair, the rules are corrected, and everything's done. Yeah.
So I take it you're challenging then your suspension?
Definitely, I'm challenging that suspension, and hence I'm saying we wrote a letter today. I've sent a letter today to the president and copied the deputy public protector and the speaker and well, the president. I was saying I'm expecting the response at least by not later than tomorrow at 5 to review and reconsider this decision, so that we also don't pursue this matter in court. Well, anyway, the judge as well himself said we can decide whether to review the. That's concerning as well the issue of contempt of court. It means people are, well, it's just giving a bad precedence that even though the court hasn't issued the judgment, you can just do as you please when you are busy litigating on the matter.
So if the president doesn't respond to you in a favorable manner tomorrow by 5 p.m. or doesn't even respond, you're saying that you are then going to approach the courts?
Yes, Bongiwe. Remember as well, there's that Part B, which should be deliberated on or ventilated in the Western Cape High Court. So it will be part of that particular process, so that, remember as well, Part A was only dealing with the interdict, and then it means that issue was never dealt with because the court, when they were dealing with an interdict, there were certain requirements they were focusing on, which they said that is they were not going to entertain our matter. So, but then in the Part B, we will be dealing with the merits of the matter, and we will as well address the issue of the suspension and refer to its and challenge it actually.
The question of the president being convicted also came up. I'm not sure if you managed to watch that press briefing he had with journalists last week. He was asked about, why suspend you on the eve of the judgment that was pending in the Western Cape High Court. The president says that there's nothing untoward here. He simply took a decision to suspend you, and the work that you say will be affected by your absence in office will continue, because he says that the office is made up of team members who are going to be investigating this, and all these investigations will continue. There will nothing that will be affected.
Maybe, hence I'm saying, again, the president being the constitutional being, and the president also having to operate within the rule of law. Hence, I'm saying that the deliberations in court, we were waiting for the court judgment. And I think that should have not been the situation where he just goes ahead and decide. What was the rush? Because he could have waited for the court judgment. Secondly, the public protector and the auditor general, we are not office of the public protector. We are, well, I'm appointed as the public protector, which operates as the public protector with the lead of the incumbent, who has been appointed in terms of the constitution. And at the end of the day, even though there is a team, I am the one who's delegating, or the public protector is the one who's delegating responsibility to that particular team. They conduct the investigation, but then the public protector is the one who takes or who issues, because the constitution is very clear. It's only the public protector who should be issuing reports. It's only the public protector who should be coming up with remedies. Though the team who have been delegated the work in terms of the Public Protector Act definitely will conduct the investigations. So I don't think it's fair to just say the office is continuing, because you have an incumbent who's appointed by the Constitution. And again, the fathers of the Constitution, of our Constitution, the drafters, actually not the drafters, but, all those, especially the former President Nelson Mandela, who made sure, and even the Constitutional Court, because the first draft was not accepted, seeing that it should be made very difficult to remove the public protector and the auditor general because of the kind of work we are doing. People don't want to be held to account, and then they would end up abusing their power or using their financial muscles to deal and frustrate this independent institution. So it's not the case. But whilst on that as well, I know that, and giving support to the DPP and the officials of the Public Protector, because this was a very shocking experience for them. And I hope they will keep on doing their work, and especially our key focus being the public out there, and they do their work and serve the public, because it's also concerning that if a person of my caliber or in stature or at my level, something like this is happening, and what about then an ordinary man on the street where we just take decisions without following the law? So I think it's something which we need to refrain from doing or reconsider.
While you say that there's one union that has said that you must go, you were, in fact, not good to the employees in that office. I'm sure you've seen that article. What was your reaction when you read that?
I didn't read that. I wouldn't even create an unnecessary engagement with that. Well, anyway, it's apparently it's PSA. I've heard about that. And it's certain members who belong to that, and they don't speak for all the staff of the Public Protector. And it's concerning for unions to behave like that when you would have employees who wouldn't want to respect the policies of, or the various policies, the various legislative prescripts of the institution, because some of those employees they are referring to, are employees who've resigned, who were found to wanting, and their decisions were taken at arbitration or at the labor court, confirmed their dismissals because of the evidence and the transgressions which they have done. So I would say yes, maybe for their members and not all their members, because there's other unions, and I don't think if you can go and interview a lot of the staff of the Public Protector and ask them, indeed, is this what you would have wanted happening? Anyway, I met with the staff after the initial receiving the letter from the president, and if possible, I think it was also recorded. You'll hear for yourself what they said, and I mean, for them, it's shocking that something like this is happening to a constitutional institution, and especially because they are the ones who are doing that kind of work, yes, with my leadership and direction. And I think our work speaks for itself, Bongiwe, achieving 2 clean audits, finalizing almost 98% of our work, changing people's life, impacting on the ordinary, the poor, and the marginalized.
You tweeted shortly after news broke that you are suspended, that, for example, I'm paraphrasing, Oksalayo, the battle is the Lord's. You were quoting Exodus 14:14. And you also said, do not be deflected, hashtag Glencoe and all of that. What did you seek to convey as a message there?
The message is, because after issuing the letter to the president about those questions, and besides, people are deliberating on this, and Bongiwe, it has happened a lot of the times where some incidences which are happening in this country, or when judgments are going to be delivered, you would find that sometimes there is a bigger story which people are trying to be deflected on. People were still deliberate, because a dialogue is very critical for people to deliberate on these matters. The issue of Glencoe, where the leader of UDM has written to us and said, consider this, please get the evidence, which is an investigation which is ongoing. ATM lodged the complaint. We are investigating. We've issued the president and all the parties with letters requesting information. So The issue is the very same institutions which are responsible for making sure that there is a rule of law in the country. And if there are issues which needs to be followed on, those issues should be followed on until the truth is uncovered, so that we don't have a situation where when we have such issues which are of national interest, at the end of the day, people are deflected and they don't focus on that. And people must receive answers to what is really happening.
Did you not see your tweets, though, as descending into the political arena, which is potentially why some people say you have chosen a faction within the ruling party and you may be advocating for it?
Not at all. I am a corruption watchdog. I wouldn't just keep quiet. There's nothing political about it. I was saying, let's go deeper in that. Glencore has been found guilty. Actually, they then settled in the US, and there's evidence, there's proof that they acted wrongly. Therefore, as a country also, we need to check and deliberate on that and see whether they don't have any thing to do with the current state of our ESCOM and the issues of load shedding, which is part of the investigation. And by saying people should continue deliberating on those issues, it's because those who have information must come forward and provide that particular information so that the issue can be resolved, and we know as a country that how to go forward, how to resolve the challenges, because the issue of load shedding, it's very serious. Whether political or not political, it impacts the poor, the marginalized, it impacts everyone across the spectrum. Small businesses, they can't survive. Our economy is bad and was impacted by the lockdowns, the issues of COVID. Therefore, at the end of the day, whatever means we can find to resolve and find answers to resolve this quagmire we are facing as a country.
You were slapped with a cost order last week, and I remember speaking to an analyst who was saying that they were not surprised because for them, you appear to also be using and abusing the public funds in fighting some battles illegally that you are always going to lose, and the writing is always on the wall. What do you say to that?
Well, that analyst, that's their own analysis. Anyway, well, as SABC, you also choose certain analysts who will then perpetuate a certain narrative, Bongiwe. At the end of the day, I said to you earlier, you could see even the letters we've written to the speakers. You know, the two mothers, women, the previous speaker, Mudise, now Mapisa Ngagula, who, well, for me, I took them, or I take them as mothers who should also have that empathy to realize that when you would want justice, if you could see the letters we've written to the previous speaker, to the current speaker, to the president, not to say I just go to court willy-nilly to litigate, is because when the chairperson of that ad hoc committee says, no, we don't have a court judgment, we don't have the interdict, what else must I do? Must I not exercise my constitutional right to do that? So, and at the end of the day, if themselves, because even within the speaker's office, within the president's office, can also then they reveal to the public how much are they spending to litigate on such matters, instead of us sitting down, coming to the table, resolving these matters, instead of going to court. Well, the issue of the courts, Bongiwe, you'd know that that's the main issue, which being the public protector, I'm regarded as being incompetent. Out of the 20 matters, 14 being set aside, 6 or 8 of them we successfully defended. And it's not me who took those matters to court. It's those people who took the matters to court, or the respondents, and we were defending the matters as well for the benefit of the complainants we were investigating the matters on, and some of them defending them because where a person will be saying, changing the mandate of the public protector or defending the mandate of the public protector. So I think you've seen some of the very much questionable judgments, but as well we are showing that how many judges have lost cases. We hire courts who said they are incompetent. I think those analysts, can they go and see the kind of work one has done? And again, is concerning because the issue of personal costs, the Constitutional Court in the, I think, SARS matter, Judge Madlanga dealt with it very seriously to say you cannot make this to be fashionable and being judges always issuing personal costs against the public protector. So, and that is not happening to judges or to any person who's litigating and losing a case. And again, the issue of litigation, it's not our core mandate. Our core mandate is investigations, it's remedying and reporting on whatever we are investigating. Therefore, at the end of the day, I cannot be judged on how many cases I've lost. And also those cases, taking them on review, it's people's rights to do that.
All right, Advocate Mkhwebane, I'd like to thank you for your time in speaking to us first, just after your suspension. And let's see then if the President replies favorably to your letter and if this matter is going to be before the courts at all, and see where to from here. But thank you so much for your time this evening. That is Suspended Public Protector Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane.